Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Man, good evening, Steelers Nation, and welcome to another episode of The Realm, where you have myself, FTA, and the producer, who,
What's
by
up?
the way, is still out there looking for a job. So if anybody's got a job for the boy, put the man to work, all right? He's got to be able to feed his
but I like
dog
doing
somehow.
nothing.
I like doing nothing. So let me ask you this equation. Nothing plus nothing equals what?
Something, right?
Nothing. You got it, producer. Nothing.
Come on.
But we're not here to talk about nothing tonight. We're here to talk about the upcoming NFL draft, which, by the way, producer, in case you've been under a rock, because sometimes I wonder about you, did you know that the draft is actually happening in Pittsburgh this year?
Really?
Have we made mention of that
Holy
yet?
crap, man.
Holy crap, man. Exactly right. It is happening here in Pittsburgh. And hey, shout out Mean Green to you as well. Glad you made the show tonight. But yes, it's happening here. And we are now in full bore of getting the North Shore ready to go. Because, man, they're getting ready for the fan experience. And all of you who have never been out there, man, this will be like my third or fourth draft now going to. You really need to attend, especially being in your backyard. And I get it, man. Prices are going to be overinflated. I was just reading, man, parking, man, $90. $90 to park for the day. Yeah. So don't take your bicycle down there in about 4 locks so don't get ripped off. All right. That might be it. DJ, man, absolutely, we're going to get it done. But yes, the draft is looking good, man. I like the way that they got the little Steelers country fan experience set up. I mean, it's a little cheesy. I mean, all the ones I've been to have been a little cheesy, but hey, look, all you're really doing is walking around, drinking beer, talking football, waiting to see who comes up. Hopefully you get up there close enough to heckle the ESPN guys, because that's what I like to do. I like to go up and heckle them, man. That's
Oh, wait, did you see? I don't think Mendoza's going to be there. He said he's going to be with his family for the draft, actually.
No, that was the next thing we're going to talk about. Yes.
Oh, right.
The number one draft pick has chosen to stay in Miami with his family. Yeah, I'm not quite sure I'm liking that idea, and I'm not sure. You know, this seems to be a trend now. All of a sudden, we get to choose if we want to go to the NFL draft. Not that
Really?
hey, you need to be there. We get to choose now. So, I mean, at what point in time do you make these guys come?
Yeah, I'd force them. You got to be there for your big day.
Well, especially if you're expected to be number one. But look, I can also see it on the other end too. You know, Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys who could go ahead and attest to this. He thought he was going to be, you know, in that top 5 range and slid all the way to the bottom. And then it's an embarrassing situation because the camera's always paying on you. Is this the time that the Dallas Cowboys pick him up? Oh, no. How about the Philadelphia Eagles? Is it the Giants? It doesn't matter. But I can see that in a way. But at the same sense, I think if you definitely know you're going to be number one, man, you've got to be able to go down there. DJ, you're right. The NFL got things locked down. They got to have a pass to be in the area, cutting down trees and riverboat traffic. Here's the other thing, too. If you guys are going down, you have to download NFL One Pass to your phone. It's not because TA said this. It's because it's the actual facts. Download NFL One Pass. It's basically your free ticket to get in there. However, I will let you know, if Pittsburgh gets stormed, they will not let you in the gate, even if you have it down, because it'll be of safety and fire marshal regulations. So you're just going to have to stick around until somebody leaves to be allowed in. So don't get mad and don't get upset at the people who are trying to do their job. And most importantly, once you get in, stay in. All right.
You saying I can't climb to get in?
No, you can't climb to get in. No, not at all. Not at all. So, anyways, do I see any round one surprises in this year's draft? No, it's pretty cookie cutter right now, Green. I mean, we're going to break down the quarterbacks and OT and or offensive line, offensive
Mhm.
tackles. Reason we saved this is because this seems to be where all the pundits are going. Even though I think the pundits have finally given up on our quarterback situation, which thank goodness about that. The only thing I would like to see if there's a surprise is to trade up and get one of those Ohio State boys. Right now, my number one take, if we were to trade up, would be Sonny Styles. I
Yeah, you seem
like
to have a
that
crush
kid's
on him.
play. I do have a crush on Sonny Styles, man. For an inside linebacker, I look for that kid to do a lot of great things. The other one, man, would be Caleb Downs, safety. We haven't had a safety in a hot minute, but there are a couple of good safeties, and we already talked about that. But we're gonna have our mock draft, and we're gonna talk about that towards the end. So tonight, let's go ahead, let's stay on topic, quarterbacks and offensive tackles. And I'm going to tell you right now, quarterbacks, just throw them out the window, man. There's really not even a true number one. We're just talking about Mendoza. You know what? Mendoza probably should stay home because if it was any other draft, he'd probably be lucky, even though he was the Heisman winner, to even go in the first round. The kid's got accuracy going for him, and that's probably his biggest thing. But at the end of the day, he just is not representative of what the NFL or the pundits raise this class up to be. Now,
Yeah. I mean, he's
knowing
like a
that that's
game
off the
manager. He's
table.
not the high-end traits-based prospects that we're used to, like the Burrows or Mannings of the world. We'll see next year. So, yeah, I mean, I was hoping for better quarterbacks this year in the draft, but it's really – there's not many guys this year.
Well, how about this? We kind of already have Mendoza on the team. His name is Mason Rudolph. Think about that. I mean, if you look at Mendoza, top to bottom, he is kind of a cheap man's Mason Rudolph in all reality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
much.
some could even compare him a little bit to a Jared Goff, but what did it take Jared Goff? Almost 8 years? It took Sam Darnold 8 years just to get to a damn Super Bowl. I mean, this is what you're talking about in Mendoza. All right. Now, we've already talked about Aaron Rodgers, and he's supposed to be giving us the answer sometime before the draft. I think we all know it by now. Either Aaron's coming back, which there's a lot to believe he is, or we're going to run with basically Mason and Will in a shootout. Now, we still have to pick up a backup. And there's not very many good backups left, as we've already talked about. So now we're looking at the draft. So, producer, I'll leave it up to you.
Huh?
Who do you think the Steelers would take as a quarterback? And it's not going to be the first round. This is not where the Steelers nation is going to celebrate with their first pick on stage. It's not going to happen.
I mean, well, if they were going to go quarterback, there's one, the Taylen Green. He's like built like a freak. He's like built like Taysom Hill. He's like a hybrid. I think he could play hybrid role in the NFL potentially. And he's a guy who, he might be a quarterback, might not, but he's a guy you just take a shot on in the later rounds because I don't see us investing a high draft pick into quarterback this year.
You know what? Out of Arkansas, I'll give you Taylen Green. The only problem with Taylen Green that kind of worries me a little bit, man, he's kind of a lot like Anthony Richardson's. And the other thing is when whether he's winning or losing for whatever reason, at the end of the game, he seems to take too much on, and he wants to throw turnovers, and that's been one of his knocks on him is he is turnover crazy, turnover prone. There you go. But I do like his size. I mean, he's 4.37, dude, on the 40. I mean, 44 inch. I mean, as far as quarterbacks go, he's definitely a freak. All right, give me another one. And I look at him as a third round, man, not first and second round.
Yeah. Well, speaking of third round, here's a guy who might go in the third round. That's Drew Allar. We talked about him already. He's very traits heavy. He could potentially go in the third, like maybe our late second. We'll see though how high he goes. But he's a guy who let's just say this year is a year he'd like to forget about. 2025, he got injured, and Penn State sucked ass. 2024, he was actually good. Coming out of that year, he was going to be potentially a second round, first round pick. So like he has some good tape from 2024, but he just sucked last year.
You're right. Some will even say, man, even last year that Penn State's offense didn't quite move when he was on the field, but after he got injured, Penn State's offense really moved when he was off the field.
Allar's got the Tyler Warren was carrying them most of the time, so it's hard to say how impactful Allar was really.
It is hard to say. It is hard to say. Now, as far as arm strength goes, he's probably got the best rocket in the draft class this year. And if you were going to go ahead and take a projection on somebody in the 3rd or 4th round, Drew might be the guy who go ahead and take it as a prospect.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anybody
definitely got to watch.
There?
Now, I'm not sure if we're going to talk about this guy, Ty Simpson, your favorite guy, your favorite quarterback. Yeah, luckily, teams are starting to stop mocking the Steelers in every mock now. It seems to be less and less.
Because he is overrated, dude. He's overrated, and they were trying to project us at taking him as a reach. And that's what it would have been. Even at 21, it would have been a reach. I'm not even sure in round 2 he's not a reach.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, unfortunately, teams cut quarterbacks so much that he'll find his way into the 1st round. Some sucker will take him. I wonder who it'll be. Probably the Browns if I had to put my money on it.
Hey, they do have multiple picks this year, so don't be surprised. They could very well pick him up in the 1st round. I'd like to think that they wouldn't, but you never know. Yeah. All right. Anybody else that we're looking at there?
I mean, there's Carson Beck, another guy who had a lot of starts in the NFL, but he's a guy who looks good in college, but then he's going to suck in the NFL. Probably be a career backup like Mason, another guy. But you have already got Mason on the roster, so why do you need him?
But Beck hasn't done anything since his surgery. Matter of fact, he's lost a little zip on the ball. He didn't look right in Miami. He didn't even look right in that national championship game. I don't think that his arm strength is where it needs to be for NFL play.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then one more guy, Garrett Nussmeier. He's another guy in the mock in the 3rd round. But there are some worries about his traits as well. I think he had some issues at the combine as well. It didn't look so good there.
Well, let's face it. With that guy right there, what we're talking about is coaching pedigree, right? Mm-hmm. His dad is a coach. New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans.
I mean, he has the potential of he's a smart guy, but he really doesn't have the means to back it up.
Yeah, he's the guy who has all the mental stuff of the game, but the physical traits are they're just not there, unfortunately, which is sad to see.
It is sad to see. So, I mean, and those are the top guys. I mean, we could sit here and we could go down through the list. You know, we could even throw in a name of Cole Payton, North Dakota. I mean, North Dakota State's been known to throw out a quarterback or two, but even Cole Payton isn't in the top echelon this year. I mean,
I think he looks good the Senior Bowl, if I remember correctly. But the reality is this is not a good QB class, and you see it when you've got guys who barely might not even make the 1st round.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Now, DJ, you did bring up something, OTAs, that we did gloss over since we're done talking quarterbacks here real quick. We will talk about the OTAs because I did have to educate the producer.
Wait, what? We're in OTAs already? What's happening?
Now, why are we in OTAs, producer? Do you remember what I told you?
Oh, you told me that because we're one of the 10 teams that got a new coach, so we get started a little early.
One of 9 teams.
Okay, got it.
That gets an extra OTA to do what with it?
Oh, strength and conditioning, right? To get bulked up, right? Else? Bulked up.
And what else?
For the veterans to show the young guys what to do, right?
Negatory. How about meeting the new coaching staff? Isn't that what we have right now? Is a new coaching staff?
Yeah, everybody's new. I think except for like 2 guys.
So with the new coaching staff, do you think there's a new playbook?
I'm hoping, because I don't even know if there was a playbook before he got here.
Not even sure if there's a playbook before we got here. Actually, Steelers, here's a little tidbit of information. It's just God's honest truth. Just so you guys know, that the one thing that the Steelers never ever do is throw away the offensive playbook. So no matter who has been a coach going clear back to the Chuck Noll era, there is a playbook with his play in it for future coaches to pick and pull off of. That's how big that playbook is. Can you imagine that?
What's it, 5 pages?
No, it's a little bit more than 5 pages. It was 5 pages when we had Canada, but that was only because he couldn't read the other 55. Now, DJ, I got to ask, who did you hear left today without signing a deal and said he wasn't going to OTAs? Because you got to put that in there. You just can't throw that out there and leave it in here, because I hadn't heard anybody who had left and said they weren't going to OTAs. I know we were talking quarterback, so were you talking about Mason? Were you talking about Rodgers? Because I didn't hear Rodgers show up today, because Rodgers doesn't have to show up today because Rodgers isn't on the team officially. He has no contract, so he doesn't have to be there. But what
he's
I
still
did
in the back
like
game.
about
He won't be here for a while.
He won't be here for a while. But what I did like about the OTAs is that we had full veteran participation, which is kind of a good sign that this team has bought in right now to what the Roonies are trying to do, which is, again, all in trying to make a run for the playoffs, man. Make a run for the Super Bowl. And with that being said, like we've already started, Larry, how are you? Oh, he read something that Rodgers left or ended his talks. Okay, so, well, I'm not sure if I believe all of that due to the simple fact that we've had some people say, hey, he's coming back. We've had other people say that, hey, it's all about the money now. He wants paid more money than what he did last year. Then we've got the rumors out there now that the Denver Broncos now have went ahead and reached out for him to go ahead and fill in for Bo Nix prior to him going. I mean, it seems like if you want to put a story out there about Aaron Rodgers, we'll put a story out there about Aaron Rodgers. I'll tell you what, here's the story from the Steelers room. Yeah, I'm going to give you the story. Aaron Rodgers now got the clap from doing ayahuasca off of the back of a donkey. Don't ask me how that happened, but that's exactly where we're at right now. So he's on a heavy case of antibiotics. Once he gets the antibiotics done, he should be able to put the sombrero back on and ride down the mountain to go ahead and sign the contract to be in Pittsburgh before the draft. And he may be one of the celebrities that goes ahead and announces one of the draft picks that come in. How's that for a title or a headliner, producer?
I love
Clap
that.
from a donkey's butt.
Did you get kicked by the donkey?
He might have got kicked by the donkey. It just amazes me, though, the amount of stories that we continue to put out there. And the guy's only asked one thing and one thing only: just leave him alone. Just let him do his thing. I mean, at 42 years old, man, I'd want to be that way. I'm in my 50s right now. Hell, half the time I want the people to leave me alone. Like you, producer. Leave me alone. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but let's see here. He said understanding was he just didn't sign anything but made statements he won't do OTAs. DJ, I don't blame him for not wanting to do OTAs, and I think that's okay for him not to do OTAs. If it was somebody else besides Mike McCarthy coming in, I might get a little concerned. But we're talking about a quarterback last year who might have been only 1 out of 32 who did not have a play sleeve on his arm the entire season. This guy knows what the playbook is. He knows how to read defense. He can make that pre-read. He's been in Mike's offense before. And quite honestly, I think that's a great thing for the growth and development of Will Howard and or Mason Rudolph. Now, on the flip side of that, what I'd like to see is, okay, I got it. You don't want to be at OTAs. It's not your thing. You don't want to do it. However, you have been teaching the young kid right now how to be an NFL quarterback. So at least show up there to go ahead and help support Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. That's where I'd be at that. You don't have to throw a pass. You just got to shake hands. Shit, you don't even have to get out of your shorts. I mean, hell, you want to stay in your street clothes and wear sunglasses all day. That's fine with me. Just show up.
If he wants to wear sombrero and just teach the young guys, I'm all for that. Or even a rookie quarterback we bring in. He can do what he wants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we don't get off track. Now we're on to the offensive line, because I tell you what, this is where I believe we're going to make our splash play. If we don't trade up to get a stud, we're probably going in the trenches. There is one safety, though, I do like that could potentially fall to us, and that would take away what I'm about ready to we're about ready to discuss. But at the end of the day, we've got to talk offensive tackle. All right. Is Broderick coming back? Is Broderick good? Is Broderick healthy? Have we seen enough of Broderick to say, you know what, Broderick, not necessarily going to be left tackle? Do we move, let's say, Broderick inside to guard, maybe left guard? Do we move Troy over to left tackle? He was a left tackle. We made him a right tackle. If you remember all that, we have fluidity around that line right now. So the question is we've got two number one studs. We don't know where Broderick's at. We've heard everything that Broderick's in, and he's right where he needs to be for neck injury. Have you heard anything else, producer?
No, he's on track. I mean, right now, I think he's the clear-cut starter, but he's got Dylan Cook to push him to be the best version of himself. And hopefully we get the best from Broderick, because we're going to need it to protect what's probably going to be old man Rodgers behind the O-line.
Well, you know what? You're right. We do got Dylan Cook, and that's another kid to go ahead and take a look out for, because as a backup last year, he came on pretty strong. And don't forget, we picked up JT's favorite from Dallas, Jack Driscoll.
Yep.
We don't know where he plays into this. Now, he's a wily veteran. He could go ahead and slide in there where Samalu was and not even miss a chance. So there's a good possibility there. Then you got Lorenzo Thompson, which again, probably just a camp body. Because at the end of the day, who did we lose? We did lose
Calvin Thompson.
We lost Pete. We lost Thompson.
Yeah.
Who else did we lose?
Forget who else.
Didn't we lose Spencer?
He means. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Probably. So one of the things, man, and Andre, you bring this up. If we're going with Will Howard, one of the things that was very successful during Ben Roethlisberger's time as a young quarterback, and you guys can go back and look at it for yourselves. The one thing that offensive line had was number ones all across the front line, with maybe a number two. Now, where are we at right now with our offensive line as we build it? We've got number ones. Now we got to fill in a few more pieces yet. So I definitely like the fact that we're going after an offensive lineman, especially in the first round. Now, my question is, do we go with a tackle? If we go with a tackle, who do you think would still be available realistically coming in the first round that would still be available to us?
Well, there's a number of guys. It's potentially Spencer Fano could fall because he has short arms. He's got to watch. He's pretty clean as prospect. It's just his arm length and potentially being a guard versus tackle. He could fall possibly.
And you know what? You're right. He's kind of got a little Tyrannosaurus Rex in him, right? I mean, it's not probably what we want guarding the blind side, right? Because this is what we're looking at. We're looking at protecting a young, potential future franchise quarterback. I don't think Tyrannosaurus Rex is what we want out there on the left-hand side. Could we slide him in and mirror him in a guard? Absolutely. I think that he'd be a great fit at guard at 6'6", man, 311 pounds. Go ahead and try to move me. Because remember, that's the other thing we're trying to do. Bigs. We're not big enough, boys. We got to get bigger. All right. Who else are we looking at potentially?
Potentially? So there's also Blake Miller. He's pretty solid. He projects in the first round. He's going to be a good prospect. He's really strong in pass protection, and he's a guy he was more playing on the right side. So if you were to bring him in, you'd probably bring in Fano over the left side, but you can make him work if you wanted him.
All right, so I got a question. Do you think Blake's a little bit of a reach at 21, let alone in the first? Because depending on who you're looking at right now as the pundits, he could potentially be a first round pick, but early on he was slated more at number 2. I mean, so where does Blake fall in there? Is he a number 2 or is he a true number 1?
I mean, he was like early to mid second round, but he seems like he's been moving up boards lately, and these tackles always seem to go higher than you expect always every year.
All right, so I tell you what, I want to know between the Clemson and the Alabama guy, producer.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a breakdown between Proctor and Freeling, because those two seem to be bouncing back and forth on who's better than who.
Mm-hmm. So Proctor's a big boy. He's like really big, like 350, 360 even. Like he's really good in pass protection, but he can't really run block that well. But if you're going to want a left tackle who can pass protect, he's probably your guy, but he's just one-dimensional in that facet.
Well, here's the thing, okay? So here's the knock that I'm getting on him that I'm hearing. You're right. To get around him, it's very, very hard. At 365, but he's got sloppy feet. Can he clean those feet up in the NFL?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, we really haven't developed Roger Jones, so we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. All right. Now, what about Freeling?
Freeling? So this is another guy who's traits heavy. He actually has very smooth feet. He's very big and long, like long arms. But the thing is, his hand work or hand usage when it comes to first strikes is just terrible. Like he really needs to work on his hands. And if he can do that, he'd probably be a stud tackle next level.
So here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought up his inconsistency with his hands, because we all know as the left tackle, you've got to have a great punch. You've got to have reach. You've got to be able to keep that edge guy on the edge and not in the quarterback's face. Now, Tomlin used to like to say, hey, man, these are guys that we could potentially train. They have these weaknesses because they haven't been coached. Do you think that both of these guys at 6'7", I mean, because look, there's a lot of people salivating over this. I mean, who wouldn't love to have a 6'7", 300+ pound left tackle that is able to go ahead and box out that edge rusher? Are these guys trainable?
Yeah, I mean, if you believe you can develop them, McCarthy was with the Cowboys. They took a bunch of young offensive linemen like Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, a lot of guys named Tyler, and they were able to somewhat develop them. And if he thinks he can do that with a guy like Freeland or Max Onisher, another guy you can develop, I mean, potentially you could be looking at stud left tackle, because that's the reason why these guys are available at pick 21, because they're not quite there yet as a prospect. If they were, they'd be going in top 10 or 15, like Cisco, the top tackle in this class, that I don't think we're going to be able to get.
Well, let me ask you something else. Do you think there's a possibility for us to trade up for Francis?
Maybe.
Out of Miami.
I don't know. Every mock I've seen has like the Cardinals taking him like third overall. So I assume he's really good though. But I mean, we'll see. You never know what can happen in the draft.
Well, it seems to be between Fano and Francis. And it seems like Francis might have all of a sudden got that little bit of jump on him. And that's had Fano out of Utah drop back a little bit. I think it's probably more so on Fano's size at 6'4" than it is Francis's ability. But Francis is a smart player. I mean, especially to say that coming out of Miami.
Yeah. I mean, he looked really good. He was actually one of the reasons why Carson Beck looked so damn good, because he had all the time in the world to throw, because Cisco wouldn't look at anybody get by him.
All right. So right now, here's the one thing that I'm looking at. I'm looking at right now, in a lot of the mock drafts that I've been looking at, it looks like everybody is defensive conscious right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's going to be a run. Matter of fact, even some of the wide receivers who we didn't think was going to fall in the earlier mock drafts now are starting to fall, which may also pose a potential. Do we go trenches or do we take that wide receiver now? But
I mean, we'll see though. If these tackles go up the board, then you're gonna see like Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston potentially fall into our lap. And I don't know how you say no when we need arguably an offensive lineman and a wide receiver right now. And how do you fill both needs?
Well, I'll tell you what, DJ, you've had it out there now for a minute, and I've been avoiding this. Look, my guy who I like because to me it makes sense. It's a Pittsburgh Steeler move, true and true. And getting Vega Ioane falling to us from Penn State, hometown boy. We already know how we love our hometown boys. There's no weaknesses in this guy's game. He's a mauler, 6'4", 323 pounds. He can push a damn pile. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, what I love about Vega is he is such a strong anchor, very similar to Zach Frazier, where he doesn't get pushed back at all when guys are bull rushing him. Like he's really good. And a mauler too. He's good in the run game, gets to the second level. So he's a guy who he's very clean as a prospect. It's hard to find stuff wrong about his game. And he's a guy who you might even have to trade up for. He's that good. It'd be worth it.
And there's some mocks now that I'm starting to see our nemesis, the Baltimore Birds, coming in and picking him up too.
Yeah.
And that is concerning because in the earlier mocks, he was sliding. He was an easy pick for us to get at 21. Now you're right. Is it possible that he gets taken a little bit sooner than that?
Well, the Ravens might want to screw us by taking him, so we'd have to trade up in front of them.
Yes, and you're right, Andre. Vega is an immovable object, and that's exactly what we need. Kind of reminds me of a gentleman by the number 66. Anybody remember that guy?
Ooh, who would that be?
Ooh, AF.
Beast.
Does that help, producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
He's great.
AF helps? Yeah. And I'm not talking Castro. I'm not talking Castro.
You know, my memory sucks.
Your memory doesn't even, you weren't even probably watching football when this guy
I don't think I was born yet.
No, I don't think so either. All right, so if he's gone, if the tackles are gone, that leaves us pretty much with what?
There is one other guard people touted as potentially first round pick. That's Emanuel Pregnon. He's the other guard. He's also clean as a prospect. Really good at both facets of the game as well, run blocking and pass protection. So he's a guy you could consider potentially at 21. It might be a little bit of reach. Maybe you trade down a little, but we'll see though. If you really want a smaller replacement, you probably have to go with him.
Look, I'm going to have to say that that he's definitely not first round material. All right, yeah. That's just my opinion. Is he a good player? Absolutely. If we picked him up in a second, and you're right, Andre, Alan Faneca is the guy. And there's a lot of similarities with Vega right now that I can't help but think about sometimes. A little bit on the shorter side than Alan, I believe. I think Alan was 6'5", but either way, what's an inch amongst friends, right? Tell her that. Anyways, I don't think that there's another guard that is worth taking in the first round. So if we were looking potentially at first round picks, and I think we're all good there with saying, hey, we know we got to get the trenches. So we're either taking a stud tackle. It sounds like everybody so far on this panel is liking the Vega move. I'm liking the Vega move.
Yeah, I love it.
The Vega, yeah, I'm thinking the Vega move makes sense. Matter of fact, you know what I even think about the Vega move? I think the Vega move makes Broderick better before we even get to training camp.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want your tackle to be the best it can be, putting a stud guard next to him can really help him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if he's allowed to go ahead and, eat up a couple of defensive guys in that process.
Yeah. Also, they'd be nasty on combo blocks going downhill. Like our running backs, Warren and Dowdle, both have a lot of room to go. Big holes.
We do. And here's the thing, man. I can't help but keep bringing this up, and I don't want to go ahead and beat it to death. But we got 12 picks. I'm not sure in this draft class we can utilize all 12 picks. My question is I still think we're at home. This is our draft. We make some kind of a splash play. And there's only a couple of players in this first round that fit the Steeler mold. And we'll discuss that when it comes time for us to give our final mock. Just want to tease that out there. But that's kind of where I'm at. But third or fourth round, we'll throw out a couple of names at guard. Who do you think third or fourth round producer that could potentially come in? Another Dylan Cook. They've got to be versatile. That is the one thing that the Steelers have definitely done over the years. It's versatility, versatility, versatility. I want that guy to either be able to play guard, center, or tackle.
Another guy to watch is probably Rutledge, Keylan Rutledge. I mean, he's out of Virginia Tech. He's a later round prospect. He's a good athlete. Like, he can move around. He's a brawler. I mean, he's pretty good. He'd be a guy to watch. He's versatile, so he can move around, wherever you need him.
So out of Georgia Tech, he was a 2-year starter. He's big red. The only thing is his hands, he gets a little wide. He gets on the outside of the shoulder pads. He gets called for some plays there. So that's something that you got to kind of worry about. And, he does kind of get, how do you want to call it? Stuck in the mud. Because his lateral movement. Yeah, he gets stuck in the mud. Sand feet. Get a little stuck in the mud. But again, those are back to techniques again, right? This is what coaching's supposed to be doing. This is where, strength and conditioning. These are different practice things at this level. Look, Dylan Cook was one of these guys way back when. And all of a sudden, he was a starter in the NFL last season for the final couple of games. Yeah. These guys have the potential of learning and making it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of for these guys. It takes 3 years, usually for a lot of offensive linemen to develop, because it just takes a lot of time for them to learn the technique and be able to put it all together in the NFL, taking that jump from the college level.
And hands, arm, and feet. Yep. I mean, those are all big things. I mean, it is. All right, who else do you got? Let me hear another name so I can go ahead and beat you up on it.
Sure. There's another guard, Bisontis. We've been hearing a lot of talk about. He'd be a nice guy to add if you're looking for a Sam Moller replacement as well. I mean,
he's got long arms too.
So,
Did you say Bisontis?
Yeah, Bisontis. That's how it's pronounced.
Or is it? How is a B pronounced as a P? It should be.
I've heard it pronounced as a P.
Bisontis, or you could say Bisontis.
No, I'm telling you,
that's how you pronounce it, is Bisontis. Chase Bisontis. Go chase the Bisontis.
No, it's woo, woo, woo. I don't know why it's spelled with a B, but it's pronounced with a P.
It's with a BP. All right, so go ahead. Tell me about this kid now.
So the reason why I think he is versatile and could play all across the offensive line, he does have 34-inch arms, which is above that threshold if you want a guy at guard or tackle. Makes him an interesting prospect. Guy you can move around. A guy you can potentially develop under McCarthy, and hopefully be one of those guys you love in a year or two or whatever as a starter.
I think one thing about this kid coming out is he's probably the best with foot speed and dropping his hips. That was one thing that we've heard, for guards for years, is can you go ahead and can you sink those hips in pass protection, to not get bulldozed over and keep those feet moving, keep that quarterback clean on that interior. So, you know what? Third, fourth round, I don't know, fourth round, man, he might be gone before then, but okay, I'll give you Chase. Who else you got?
Who else? Let's see. Oh, we got a guy out of Iowa. We always love the guys out of Iowa, right? They're always pretty good.
Oh, they already wear black and gold.
I got Gennings Dunker. He's projected second, third round. He's a classic Iowa offensive lineman with a dickhead mentality.
I'm
Yep.
glad you said that because, you know, um, yeah,
He plays mean. That's what I really love about him. The way he plays, it's just fun to watch.
he does play mean. He's not like some of the greater guards that have come out of
Mhm.
Iowa before him. My problem is with him is my problems with this with the Steelers right now as well too is that he's very limited in basically non-zone schemes.
Mhm.
We, on the other hand, can't seem to run a zone scheme yet. I mean, we have had problems on that offensive line trying to figure out who our identity is. I'm
Mhm.
hoping with this coaching change, we get an identity on this offensive line,
Mhm.
especially now that we're going back after blue chip guys, first,
Mhm.
second round, as we talked about earlier in the show. That's what we really need is blue chip guys on this offensive line, especially as we get ready for the future.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll
is,
see
is
us
it
going more towards gap and power versus we were running a lot of wide zone with Arthur Smith. So we'll get back to our roots, ground and pound type of old school football.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, boys?
Yep, that's what we need.
All right. Anybody else to keep an eye on?
No, that's about it. There aren't many centers unless you want to consider Connor Law. He's a guy who, if you're looking for a center, but we get Zach Frazier, so we don't really need one. But he's a guy who can play probably all three interior offensive line spots. So you love those guys as backups because if an injury does happen, you can plug them anywhere.
Yeah, but do you think he can go ahead and play guard?
Uh,
And he's also had some injuries, hasn't he?
Possibly. I mean, he's very athletic though. He can play wherever you need him.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a little concerned about the medical report on him. I think that he might potentially fall yet.
Because you're able to make do with that at center versus guard more so.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I'm running out of names on the list. I think we're out now.
I'm running out of names.
I'm out of names.
All right. And DJ, you're right. Dunker did show out at the combine. He did have a good combine. If he was there in the third round, if we were unable to get Vega in the first, I wouldn't be too upset if he was our third round pick. If we were able to pick him up as a developmental, I think that would be a wise move on our end.
Mhm.
So, all right, guys. With that, we've now broke down. What have we broken down? Please tell me.
So we've done the defense, and then we also done the offense, QBs, and offensive line. So next week we're doing weapons. So that's wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs.
We're doing weapons.
Yep.
All right. So it's weapons check. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. We'll spend pretty much the whole show on wide receivers, though, probably.
Whole show on wide receivers.
Probably.
All right. Now, real quick, just to go ahead, because right now I just want to finish up the show here real quick.
Yep.
We've had some, we're now, 23 visitors of 30, plus we've had our 3 local guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I kind of look at this, we're definitely been looking at the quarterback. Matter of fact, all 3 quarterbacks we kind of discussed have already paid a visit in Carson, Beck, Cole Payton, and Taylen Green.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have a very, very potential. Hopefully, like maybe in the fourth, fifth round.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to take anybody. Yeah, I don't want to have to take anybody day 1, day 2. Now, offensive tackles, though, that's kind of what scares me a little bit here. There's nobody we discussed in that first round because you've only brought in Marco Bell and Travis Burke, who are, again, maybe number 2, number 3 day prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's as good as I get. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, those are guys who maybe take a shot in third round, but they don't really pique my interest at all.
No, they don't excite me at all either.
You can tell based on my reaction, right?
Right. Now, wide receivers even.
I'm all ears now.
You're all ears now on wide receivers.
Yep.
So Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati. Not too bad.
Not bad.
Kendrick Law. Okay, not too bad.
Yep.
Denzel Boston, man. A lot of people have had Denzel Boston going to us in the first round. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. Skylar Bell. Maki Lemon, which I don't think will be around. Lemon. Now, when I look at the wide receivers, I hate to say this, but to me, that almost seems like an illusion.
Ooh. Is it smokescreen season for you still?
I'm thinking it's smokescreen season. I don't think we're interested in any of those guys, that it's all smokescreen.
Ooh. Maybe. You don't want any of them?
If you had to put me on the spot and you said, TA, you got to take one. You have to take one.
Which one?
Lemon's not going to be there when we draft. And I don't want to waste any draft potential to go up and pick him up. So I'm going to have to say Boston, which Boston shouldn't even be in this draft because he declared late.
I don't care. It would be fun if we had Boston because then we have like 3 6'4" wide receivers. That just would
look, I'm not gonna. Again, we're back to the bigs. That's what we've been talking about, right? Getting bigger, badder, kind of going after that Philadelphia Eagle look, because that's what seems to be making championships these days.
Yeah. Well, that'd be such a cheat code in the red zone with those guys plus our tight ends.
Absolutely. All right. So what are we doing next week again, producer?
Wide receivers, tight ends, running backs.
All right, Realm. You heard it.
Yep.
DJ, Green, and I think I even seen Larry.
I saw Larry
sneak in there.
Give me a hat.
Larry snuck in there as well too. Gentlemen, thank you all for listening this evening. Tune in next week as we continue to break this down. Trying to have something planned before the draft. Waiting on JT, and we'll see where it goes. But since I brought up his name, I might as well go ahead. Producer, what does JT say?
Oh, careful the hot top, baby.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.